Welcome to the Rocker Skating Podcast. We're having another off-season episode today because things are continuing to happen and things are continuing to be giving us new news in the off-season. And I just came back from ISU Congress. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Jackie. Welcome back from paradise.
It was beautiful there. I will say that much. I didn't get much time to go and look at anything really. I landed in Tenerife at 3 p.m. the day before Congress, got to my hotel, walked around for 2 hours and then went to bed because, jet lag. And then the next 2 days were literally just all I did was...
Yeah, I mean, the sight of the way the ocean looked in your pictures, I don't think I would have made it to the Congress. I think I maybe would have had, the chats with the ice dancers you managed to get in, and then I would have been in the water.
What was interesting was my hotel was next to not beaches because I think the water was pretty rough. There were little sort of closed off lagoons where you can go into the water, but it wasn't that. And it's Atlantic water, so I think it's cooler. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how all the jet stream stuff works. Anyway,
is it clean there?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Because it's technically the same ocean that touches New York City, and I wouldn't go in that.
A little bit farther away. Yeah, so we had 3 days of ISU Congress. I was there for the first 2 days. The third day was elections. I had to get out of there because I needed to go to another conference that has nothing to do with figure skating. But it was good. I'm very glad I went. It was very enlightening to see the sort of inner workings of Congress, to just talk to people, and it was the first time that the ISU had invited media to cover the event in person, and it was a very small group. It was me, it was Anna Keller from Anything GOEs, and it was Takafumi Yoshida from Kyoto News, who does the Deep Edge blog. So the ISU knows who people are reading.
Was Maya there too? I saw her tweeting about it, but I don't know.
No, Maya was not there, but I know Maya was. I don't remember her last. I don't remember her last name enough to be able to pronounce it. But it's Maya B.
If we were in the skating season, I would just say it. But right now, my brain is not right there.
But Maya B, we know you. But I know she was in touch with people who were there, and so there was communication. But yeah, it was interesting. We'll talk more about that in this episode. We're gonna get started with the part 2 of off-season news because things happened since the last time we had our emergency episode. And the emergency episode last time was really focused on, the partnership of Marin Honda, Shoma Uno, and there were some retirements. There were a lot of splits that were going on. But since then, there haven't been more retirement news. The last one that I have chronicled was Nico Machi, which was on May 22nd. But there have been new pairings.
Yes, there have.
And as Michelle Ellis, the bakery customer, can tell you, there was
excited.
There was a very big one that came out. And Michelle, why don't you tell us about it?
Marjorie Lajoie will be skating with Jean-Luc Baker for Canada. Their team name, still undecided. Jackie and I continue to fight about it. But I'm so happy because I was very upset about Lajoie Laga splitting. I thought that they were a team that's had such immense potential, and I really couldn't imagine either of them finding a partner as well suited for them as each other. And I didn't even consider Jean-Luc, and I kind of assumed that he was done skating because he hasn't competed in so long and he's been doing choreography and very much enjoying being Olivia Smart's biggest cheerleader and, sharing a dog together. That I feel like is what he's been doing. But I'm so excited that he took this opportunity to come back. I cannot wait to see them. I mean, I think Jean-Luc is probably one of the best, if not the best, ice dancer of his generation. He's an extraordinary skater and a very unique artistic visionary. And that's honestly what Marjorie Lajoie deserves. That's how good she is. That's the kind of partner she needs. And we've only seen a tiny tidbit of them skating together, in their announcement. She was smiling I saw a tweet that was she's like the Natasha Bedingfield song Unwritten, constantly playing on a loop in the background. She was smiling like I've never seen her before. So I'm happy for her. I'm so excited for them.
Where's the edit of Natasha Bedingfield's
Yeah,
Unwritten
I
and
know.
Marjorie just skating
Yeah.
around?
And Jordan Cowan, I know you're listening, and I know you're going to film them if you haven't already. Post a clip, please. We need it. It's a long time until the fall. Let's see a clip. We'd all appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, inquiring minds want to know.
Mhm.
I, as everybody knows, Jean-Luc Baker was my commentary partner
Jackie
for
got dumped
practice
too.
cam. I got unceremoniously
Yeah.
dumped. No. He called me to tell me,
Uh-huh.
and what was interesting was before the entire announcement or before the pairing was happening,
Mhm.
Jean-Luc and I had plans to do more this
Mhm.
season with practice cams, and we were kind of
Mhm.
scheming on how do we what are we going to do,
Mhm.
which competitions we're going to propose the
Mhm.
commentary and practice cam stuff to. That's now gone out the window. But look, I'm excited that he is doing what he wants and loves to do, and
Mhm.
I know he's missed it for sure,
Mhm.
the competition aspect, and I'm looking forward to seeing what this team is going to be able to do. As I was told, and Jean-Luc and Marjorie will probably say it themselves, it happened very quickly,
Mhm.
and it was one of those things where it just it
Mhm.
worked,
Mhm.
and the thing was that they were about to go to France because Jean-Luc and Nathan Chen
Mhm.
and Sam Chouinard had one of their
Mhm.
seminars going on in France, and he basically was like, "Yeah, a bunch of people are gonna see me and Marjorie now," and they
Yeah.
the announcement came basically because they wanted to get it out there before other
Yeah.
people took pictures of them and got
Yeah.
them out there, right? But
Yeah.
there were rumors, lots of rumors that timing wise actually were not correct,
Mhm.
but they had to do that, and also Grand Prix assignments are coming out,
Mhm.
so who knows? Maybe we're gonna get them competing at the Grand Prix because they certainly Jean-Luc was I am almost certain released from U.S.
Mhm.
figure skating. He, because he hasn't competed in a while, can compete next season, so he doesn't have to wait.
Mhm.
And and Marjorie Lajoie was in the top 12 at
Mhm.
Worlds last year with Zach Legat, which means that she and now Jean-Luc are eligible for a Grand Prix spot, at least one.
Mhm. Well, hopefully Skate Canada is we need to keep our TBA open so they get another one, and then Skate Canada can add them so they'll have 2. That's at least what I would do.
I feel like there are going to be a lot of TBAs when we
Yeah.
see the Grand Prix spots.
And I'm
Um,
really, really hoping we get Marjorie and Jean-Luc at Skate America. That would be really nice. I've made the request. I have no power, but I have been saying it to people that I know. Please, please. I'm
yes.
gonna miss Jean-Luc's commentary too. I felt like his commentary was extremely helpful and educational throughout the season. I really liked listening to it, and he definitely helped, shape my perspective on how I looked at different teams and different programs, and that is going to be a deficit this coming year.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
small price to pay.
Small price to pay.
Mhm.
And, fingers crossed that when
Mhm.
he finally does retire for good, that he will be back on commentary because
Mhm.
he also loves to do it.
Mhm.
So, and that's not just me being like Jean-Luc is very good. He actually really does enjoy
Mhm.
it. So yeah, so LaJoie and Baker
Mhm.
Bakery.
Mhm. Bajo
are Bajoie are going to be uh, a new pairing. A couple of other new pairings, as we know from last time we were talking about this, McBeath and Parkman had split up, and Shin and Naj had split up. And now, 4 days ago, Emily Chan and Spencer Howe had split up. And Michelle, you and I talked about the random post of like, thank
Mhm.
you to Audrey Shin and Spencer
Yeah.
Howe for coming to I forgot which it was a rink in Colorado
Yeah.
to
I
come
think
train with
Monument.
us.
Yeah.
Was it Monument? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Shin and Howe are now
Mhm.
officially a pair.
Mhm.
And also McBeath and Naj
Mhm.
are a pair.
Mhm.
So the rotating musical chairs of US pair skating continues.
Like sands through the hourglass. So are the days of our lives. I saw a couple clips of Emily Chan doing lifts with Timmy Chapman, I think at a demonstration event, but, they look good together, so, we haven't seen him in a season or 2, so maybe they'll team up. The more
Yep.
pairs, the
Yep.
better. Throw them all
Yep.
together,
Throw them all together and
and
see
then
which ones stay
switch.
together.
Yeah.
So those were the new pairings, and then a
Mhm.
couple of other kind of general announcements. I talked to Olivia Smart at Congress,
Mhm.
and she told me that she and Tim Deek are aiming for 2030.
And that's the first time she said that.
Yeah, I literally I overheard her telling someone
Mhm.
that, and I sprinted to her, and I was
Good
like,
job.
are you gonna tell me this on camera?" And she was like, "Of course."
Get it.
I mean, what she said was, healthy, you have to be healthy and
Mm.
still love it, right?
Mhm.
It's we're going for 2030, but we are taking it each season at a time based on like how we feel and all that stuff. But the goal is 2030.
I had the impression from her videos they were doing one more season and then we're gonna see. But this sounds much more
This is very
definitive.
different. Yeah, this is
And
very
you
different.
brought up an important point when you're talking to her is that they will be able now to do Dune 3
I
because the
know.
soundtrack will be out. Yeah.
Dune 3 coming.
Yeah,
Mm.
Timothy Chalamet's having a big week.
Oh yeah, this podcast is not about the Knicks or about the World Cup. Although New York is all about the
But
Knicks.
it is about Lisan Al-Gaib, so
Yes. Also at Congress, I talked
Mhm,
to the chair of the new chair of the athletes committee, Evan Bates,
mhm,
who told me basically they're not competing next season. They haven't looked anywhere farther than that. And what he told me, and I know Evan is always very careful with his words. What
mhm.
he told me about basically saying we don't want to commit to anything that much farther away tells me that they don't want to commit to anything.
Yeah, yeah,
But the official word from Evan is that they're not competing next season.
yeah. Well, that's good to know. I really would be surprised if I saw them in amateur competition again,
Same,
but I
same.
also know it must be incredibly difficult for Evan to face the reality of never competing in another Olympics, even though he's done 5. He
It would
loves
be
the
6.
Olympics
Crazy.
more than anyone, so and you know what? If he went to the 6th one, he would be the most Olympics competingest skater ever, so,
That that is
yeah.
nuts.
Mhm.
And then the other piece of news coming out of French television was
Mhm.
Fournier, Baudry, and Cicerone saying that they
Mhm.
are continuing and that they would love to be in 2030.
Mhm. Well, I
So,
heard they had new programs and that they were likely competing this season, but the commitment to Lyon is, uh is cool. Yeah.
oh, that is also new news is that
Mhm.
Lyon is now the site of the figure skating
Mm.
and the French Alps Olympics.
I mean, I love Nice, and I think spending a month there sounds wonderful and magical for everyone that would be competing there, but Lyon is the home of French ice dance, and that is where the ice dance competition should happen, so it's the right thing. It's right.
And it's also closer to the French Alps
Yeah,
than
I mean,
resort
whatever.
city Nice.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Sochi was probably the best controversial take, probably the best organized and enjoyable Olympics I've worked, and we were, like, nowhere near the mountains. They were just, like, way in the distance. We're on the
That's so
beach,
that's so interesting that
60.
you said that. I wasn't there, but for me, so
Mhm,
far,
mhm,
Pyeongchang was the best organized one
mhm.
of the
And it was, like,
3 that
2
I went to.
hours to the mountains, so
Oh, I
it was
know.
fine.
Yeah, the farther away from the mountains,
Yeah,
the better.
yeah.
So that's
Oh,
off-season news,
mhm,
and I'm sure we're going to get more because
mhm,
Grand Prix assignments should be coming out this week. There's no official word from the ISU. This is based on conversations that I had in Tenerife.
mhm,
And from what I understand, they are coming out at the beginning of this coming week. Whatever that means, I don't
mhm,
know. Is it Monday? Is it Tuesday? Is it Wednesday? The office poll that I put up on the rocker skating website, the fans are telling us they think it's Tuesday. 26% think it's
mhm,
Tuesday. 21% thinks it's Wednesday, and 14% thinks it's Monday.
mm. Tuesday makes sense because everyone's probably, like, really tired from hanging out in and potentially partying in Tenerife. They needed to recover. They get to work on Monday and they're like, "Ugh, I don't feel like this." And then Tuesday's the day.
Yeah, I mean, I was with the media team the entire
Yeah.
time there. They were not partying. They were working the entire
Oh,
time.
boy.
And also the side note to this is
Mhm,
four continents. The very first day I was there, I beelined to the folks in charge, and I was
mhm.
like, "When are four continents locations, or when is the four continents locations coming out?" And they were like,
January 2027. It will be announced.
"Soon," and I was
Yeah.
like, "Okay, well that doesn't help."
I
They were basically saying it was like within a week, but
I have a free idea for the ISU. They should hold 4 continents in Brazil. They should have it in, like, whatever big arena they have down there that they can make ice. They should make the tickets affordable. They should do a ton of promo. New area, so, like, lots of people would be exposed to skating. It's a long travel, but everyone would be happy to be there once they got there because I'm sure it's lovely in early February. And, like, there's so many, like, South American skating fans that probably never get to see skating. So, Brazilian fans are legit, and everybody loves, like, a nice warm vacation mid-season. So,
hosted by Brazilian superstar Isadora Williams, right?
yeah, I'm sure the gymnastics team would be happy to, participate.
Well, the fans in the office pool are less optimistic
Mm,
about it coming out anytime soon because
mhm,
36% of you
mhm.
say that it is going to happen later than June 27th.
I feel when it takes this long that it's gonna be in Colorado Springs. That's always my feeling, but yeah, I don't know.
Another four continents in Colorado Springs. Let's
Because I think because they
get
own
your
the
oxygen
arena,
going.
I don't think it really costs anything if the arena's
Mm.
available. So,
I mean, it's like, if you hold it in the US and you guarantee that Alyssa
mhm.
Liu is and
Yeah.
Ilya Molina are gonna be there,
Yeah.
those tickets are gonna sell.
And Anthony Ponomarenko,
And Anthony
if it's in the
Ponomarenko.
Bay. I mean, San Jose, Oakland. We haven't had an Oakland competition in so long.
Oh, Oakland. Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be interesting.
Mhm.
That'd be
The
very
Christy
interesting.
Yamaguchi Four Continents Championships.
The Christy Yamaguchi and Brian Boitano Invitational Four Continents
Yeah,
Championships.
beautiful. And Paulina
Yeah,
Edmonds,
and
Four Continents champion.
all of it, all
Uh-huh.
of it.
Yeah.
Or go to is it Martha's Vineyard? Is that where Ashley is these days? Oh,
Uh,
Nantucket?
Nantucket.
I don't know.
That's a rough boat ride. She's in the process of moving back to Boston. So let's just get back
The
to the TD Garden.
the
Yeah.
Ashley Wagner Four Continents Invitational in Boston. Okay, ISU Congress.
What happened? Tell me
Oh
about
my
it.
god. Oh
And the
my
only thing I'm
god.
really caught up on is the dance technical committee votes.
Right.
But give me the
So
rest.
what was interesting about four continents? What was interesting about the ISU Congress was that everybody was telling me last year they had approved an entirely new constitution. It was the first time in a whole lot of decades
Mhm.
that the ISU had amended, like done a complete refresh of the Constitution. And it was one of Jae Kim's things to, you know, do more streamlining, be more agile with
Mhm.
decision making, all of those things that, frankly, as a management consultant, I was like, you're speaking my language. It's like, you want organizations to be able to have representation, but also be able to make decisions quickly. Things just took a long time in the past. And ISU congresses, as they were told to me, used to be 5 days of like nonstop voting, voting, voting,
Mhm.
voting for all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Every little every little amendment change, anything has to go through the entire body of hundreds of people.
Mhm.
And if you tuned into day 3 of ISU Congress, you saw the voting process was cumbersome.
Mhm.
And the game show music that they had
Yeah.
for the 45 minutes or the 45
Yeah,
seconds when
and
they were
they
voting.
vote over and over and over again. It's not like they vote on it all and they take, like, the top. They, like,
Yeah.
do a vote, eliminate one, vote all over again, eliminate another one.
Well, that was, those are specific rules for
Mhm.
the elections for sure.
Mhm.
But it used to be a lot of that.
Mhm.
And what J.O. Kim has wanted to do is to make Congress less about voting and more about sharing of information and so forth. This is obviously theoretical and like, hey, in the ideal world, that's
Mhm.
what it would be. But what is happening now is something that's more akin to what large bodies of people, what large
Mhm.
bodies of leadership end up doing, right? Like the idea is more or less structured like a bunch of partners. It's a partnership of member federations, and that's how it's operated in the past. And so that's why there's all this voting going on. It's now been structured such that there is a council that is elected to represent the viewpoints of the members, right? Like, so
Mhm.
the hundreds of members are still there, the member federations are still there, but they elect a council that holds voting powers for a lot of the major issues. And so,
Mhm.
for example, Evan Bates is part of the athletes committee, and
Mhm.
he is now the chair of the athletes committee. The chair of the athletes committee is on the ISU council, so he gets a vote on behalf of the athletes. And so all of this stuff is about delegation. Like,
Mhm.
you know, J.O. Kim is the president, and then there's, a council of, I think, 14 people. All of those people are delegated to represent the specific, interests of whatever their group is. So,
Mhm.
the athletes committee is its own thing, and other committees are their own thing. So that's kind of the thing. And so instead of 5 days of voting, it was 2 days of a lot of sharing of information, and then 1 day of elections.
Mhm.
And that's what you were talking about at the beginning, Michelle, the
Mhm.
elections of a few of the council members, a few of the people within the technical committees, the chairs of each of the 3 figure skating technical committees. So singles has a technical committee, pair right. The pairs has
Mhm.
a no,
No,
I'm talking
singles
I'm
and
thi
pairs, I think, are together, aren't they?
that's right. Yeah, singles and
Yeah.
pairs has a technical committee. I was getting this mixed up with
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
athletes committee because, there's now a representative for the athletes for
Mhm.
singles and a representative for pairs. It used
Mhm.
to be one person for singles
Mhm.
and pairs, and so that was split because they wanted to make sure that pairs actually gets its own and singles
I
gets
mean,
its own.
while we're on the subject, Paris should have its own technical committee and its own set of judges.
I thought the same thing as I was talking about this as well.
Mhm.
So
Okay, sorry, go on.
yeah, so the technical committee chairs are new, and then there are technical committee members who were then voted in,
Mhm.
and so there was a lot of that, and
Or
part
out.
of or out, and there were parts of the Congress were about these candidates
Mhm.
doing their networking
Mhm.
and trying to get votes and all of that sort of stuff. So there was a lot of just like general vote getting
Mhm.
that was happening during the first couple of days. But if we go back, the first day was really the like big announcement day. Like
Mhm.
lots of like, this is what's happening going forward. This is the vision for the future. The ISU had put out the Vision 2030 on, what they want figure skating to be. And there was a lot of general talk about how successful the last quad was in terms of regaining audience or gaining new audience. And they want this next 4 years to be
Mhm.
more of that as they are going into the French Alps Olympics. But that also requires investment.
Mhm.
And the thing that I kept hearing over and over again was that the ISU was very much very much committed to investing in development in their athletes and all of the things that they need to do in order to then reap the benefits when 2030 comes around. So
Mhm.
they're not that they're deficit spending, but they are going into their reserves in order
Mhm.
to double the prize money, in order
Mhm.
to increase the amount of money that they're putting into development. So all
Mhm.
of that kind of stuff was very interesting. The other thing that was interesting was that what was said by Jae Kim was that 80% of the ISU's revenues come from TV contracts.
Yeah, I believe it.
Not a surprise given, those of us who followed this for a long
But
time.
I think that also kind of emphasizes, like, how little money they have right now in comparison to the past, because back in the 90s when they had the big ABC contract for all the non-Olympic skating, it was in the ABC contract that 50% of the money paid to the ISU in the contract had to be given back to the athletes. And that's why you saw, like, championship events and Grand Prix events had these huge prize money. I mean, not huge compared to, like, golf, but, like, very
Yeah.
significant. Couple
Yeah.
$100,000 for, like, winning a championship event compared to now, which is not there. And they also don't have one of their probably biggest rights holders right now. I don't know if they have a contract with Russia or what the status of that is, but yeah.
Well, as far as I know, there the discussions about whether or not to bring back Russia and Belarus,
Mhm.
the what was it, the
The
Olympics, the
juniors?
AIN countries,
Mhm.
juniors or seniors,
Mm.
that was on the agenda. Whatever that
Mhm.
was on the agenda for the
Mhm.
newly elected ISU council
Mhm.
that met this weekend.
Mm.
So I have texted multiple people and nobody has heard anything yet. So we will see what happens, and that could
Mhm.
potentially affect the Grand Prix assignments
Mhm.
because both Adelia Petrosian and Peter Gudmenik
Mhm.
are part of the criteria that would guarantee them at least one spot on the Grand Prix if
Mhm.
Russia and Belarus were allowed back into competition.
So they were considering it for seniors too. I just
I
hadn't heard
don't
that part.
know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think yeah.
Yeah, I'm just so interested to see if they do it because in rhythmic gymnastics, they've let them back in, and I don't think it's as difficult for the Belarusian athletes because a lot of them have been competing as AIN. They often, like, some of them have good relationships with the other gymnasts, but with the Russian gymnasts, there's been some dark scenes, like the Ukrainian covering her face and her ears on the podium when the anthem was playing and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It'll be tricky.
Very tricky. I mean, those of you who haven't seen it, I interviewed Jae Kim,
Mhm.
and actually what was told to me as the first time he's done a one-on-one on camera, that was very interesting
Wow.
because, like, the ISU has been historically very sort of arm's length with
Mhm.
media,
Mhm.
and, this new sort of group of media folks is making a concerted effort
Mhm.
to actually try to connect with media and
Mhm.
with the fans more. So we'll see what happens with that.
Mhm.
But when I interviewed him, I asked him about Belarus and
Mhm.
Russia, and he basically said the ISU council, the new council is meeting about that.
Mhm.
What was also interesting was that he said the ice was for figure skating was the first winter sport at the Olympics to allow AIN athletes at the Olympics.
Mm.
So
That a winter, yeah.
Winter
Okay,
sport,
okay.
yeah, winter sport. So it was interesting that he emphasized that piece of
Mhm.
it. I think he did say something to the effect of, like they he wants to advocate for the athletes,
Mhm.
but also I think it is like you said, it's a tricky situation,
Yeah.
and the war is part of the whole thing, and the doping is part of the
Mhm.
whole thing, even though they were not banned for the doping that happened
Mhm.
in Beijing.
I don't know if it was anything GOE, someone posted it on Instagram where they spoke to multiple people at the conference and asked them about, like, I saw Robin Cousins was in there, and some other people about what their position was. And it was a pretty uniform feeling that if the war is still going, they should not be competing. But I don't think that there were any council members that commented on that.
Yeah, so that was
Mhm.
that was Anna Keller's
Mhm.
interviews with the vice president of figure skating candidates.
Oh, okay.
And so the
Yeah.
interesting thing was Robin Cousins was
Mhm.
one of the candidates
Mhm.
for VP,
Mhm.
and the people who were not voted in
Mhm.
to the council were the ones who were generally more outspoken about not having Russia and Belarus back in.
Interesting.
Yeah, in general, in
Interesting.
general. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that was the first day.
Mhm.
A lot of announcements. Second day was much drier. If you were following along,
Mhm.
it was the same with the sentiment in the room, but it was a
Mhm.
lot of reports from committee chairs,
Mhm. Yeah.
and frankly, a lot of people who aren't like, they're not in the business of presenting PowerPoint slides.
Mhm.
So it was a long few hours to
Yeah.
slog through. But when the technical committees came up, I
Mhm.
perked up because we were
Mhm.
talking about rule changes. More so for singles and pairs because the Fabio Bianchetti,
Mhm.
who is the former technical committee chair for singles and pairs, laid out all of
Mhm.
the changes that were happening for singles and pair skating, whereas Sean Redstadt, former chair of the ice dance technical committee, didn't really say much about it, except for the
Mhm.
fact that there's going to be a creative dance element in the rhythm in ice dance in the
Mhm.
coming season. Yeah, so it was
Just goes
interesting
right
to
goes so nicely with a waltz.
creative dance
Mhm.
element.
Just stay
Um,
vertical. Head on top, feet on the bottom. Thank you.
uh, there were very let's go back to day one. And I know you may have followed some of this and may have
Mhm.
not followed some of this, but the couple of big things that came out of day one, Jay Yule talked about music rights
Mhm.
and that they're very close, in his words, very close to having a deal with one of the major music labels. And I talked to a couple of heads of federations too,
Mhm.
and they were saying that the the agreement with music labels will make streaming
Mhm.
much more an easier thing to navigate.
So we
Not to
may
say it's
get things posted on Peacock for longer.
yeah, or YouTube, right? Like,
Mhm.
it's, a lot of the practice stuff that
Yeah.
Jean-Luc and I did was on YouTube for a
Yeah.
day, and that was
Yeah.
kind of it.
Yeah, I didn't
And
get to watch a lot of it, and I was not
yeah,
happy about that at nationals
yeah.
this year.
So stuff like that,
Yeah.
right? The music issue, they know
Mhm.
it's important. They know they're working on it, and let's hope we have something soon.
Mhm.
They were basically saying that they want to be able to announce something fairly soon, and I'm
Mhm.
guessing they want to do it before the season really
Mhm.
starts. A second thing was an updated Grand Prix schedule, which was a talk of the town on Twitter, and what was interesting was there was a leaked schedule, I think probably from Russian media, that came out sometime earlier this year on like what it was. And the thing that also I was hearing was basically that as part of this new streamlining and idea generating and all of the things that are
Mhm.
going on, what the ISU has been trying to do is to suggestions, brainstorming proposals to member federations and get feedback from them. This is what they're
Mhm.
telling me.
Mhm.
Whether or not whether or not it was done in practice like that is a different story. But all those rumors that we
Mhm.
heard earlier in the season were supposedly the ISU saying to member federations, these are things that we would like to explore with you. Can I get some feedback on it?
Mhm.
And there were member federations who got those and was like, no, all these changes are happening. And without us being
How
consulted
dare
with all
you?
these changes,
Yeah,
how dare you? Yeah.
yeah.
And it's this sort of this like crossing over of like
Mhm,
the ISU wants to move fast and make decisions and has consolidated this a lot of this decision making power to the
mhm,
ISU council, and the federation's misunderstanding, again, as I was told, misunderstanding the fact that the ISU wanted feedback
mhm,
on specific things that they are
mhm,
looking to see if it was interesting to do, right? So like
mhm,
the whole second free skate thing that we heard about was literally something that was passed around as an idea,
mhm.
and they were told right away, like, no freaking way, like we
Yeah,
cannot have a second free skate, and they
yeah,
backed away from it right away.
yeah,
Same thing with this schedule. This original leaked proposed schedule
yeah.
was supposed to have extended the season by something like a month.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, "Ooh."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a
It's lo
big
quite
part of
long
it.
as it is.
Yeah, exactly. A
Yeah.
big part of it was the fact that they wanted to do
Mhm.
Worlds in April, and what Jael was telling me was
Uh-huh.
that they wanted to do Worlds in April because that's when they didn't have competition with the other winter sports that
Mhm,
were taking up TV time in
mhm.
Europe. And
Mm.
so if it was in April, it wouldn't be an issue in Europe. And then they heard from skaters that, like, no, the season's getting too long.
Mhm.
They heard from the Japanese TV people that, like, no way, like, we should
Yeah.
not be doing Worlds in April because
Mhm.
Japan has other things going on,
Ye
or I don't know, maybe baseball's happening. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, probably baseball is happening because I remember having seen baseball.
I mean, I remember at 2009 Worlds or no, 2009 Worlds, Worlds were in LA, and then the international baseball
Yeah.
something was the week
Yep.
after, and so
Yep.
all of the Japanese crew that was there for Worlds was there for 2 weeks, and they were doing both. And
Yep.
these were, like, the 2 biggest events of the year in Japan sports.
And at Saitama Worlds in
Yeah.
whatever 2014,
Yeah.
the Japanese journalists were
Yeah.
watching the baseball.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's to say, like, they got all the feedback
Yeah.
and they're keeping Worlds at the end of March as usual.
Good. Happy
And
birthday
so
to me.
yeah, that's the thing. And
Yeah.
the schedule as it is still, it's still a proposed schedule. It
Mhm.
is not set in stone yet.
Mhm.
And they're still getting all the feedback, which is why we don't know it quite yet
Mm.
outside of what has been leaked.
Mhm.
What we do know, however, is that they want to have a new Grand Prix semifinals. And the Grand Prix semifinals is a way for there to be more opportunities for, like, right now, right?
Mhm.
It's the top six
Yeah.
after the Grand Prix series who
By
qualify
placement. Yeah.
directly to the Grand Prix final.
Mhm.
What often happens is we have these debates about, like, oh, but
Mhm.
like Isabel Levito, for example, last
Mhm.
season was in that crazy
Yeah.
Grand Prix de
In
France where it
France.
was Kaori and Ami and Rion,
Yeah.
right?
All
And then
skating so well.
yeah, and then she scored a 2:12 and was in
Yeah.
fourth place.
Yeah.
Like, it
Yeah.
was just like, it was one of those things where if there was another shot, that
Mhm.
actually might have been fairer to someone like, someone who didn't get a good draw in
Mhm.
a more competitive thing. So you can always slice it and dice it multiple ways,
Mhm.
but the idea would be that some, probably top 12,
Mhm.
right, go to two semifinals, and I'm guessing they're going to be seeded, and it's like,
Mhm.
the even seeds go into one and the odd seeds go into the
Mhm.
other. There's nothing official about any of this.
Mhm.
I want to make sure you
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
caveat that because this is like what's in my brain about what the
Yeah.
semifinals would look like. But it's two semifinals, uh, and the idea is that from those semifinals you qualify to the finals.
Mhm.
So that's a big thing, and they want to have the semifinals sometime late December to January.
But
Yeah, I
when's
know.
when's the final then?
The final would be in February.
when are 4 continents and Europeans?
Well, that's all that's the big question, right? Because
Yeah.
that extended schedule that we saw as leaked and that actually people were talking about
Yeah.
at the Congress had the Grand Prix final in February,
Mhm.
Europeans and 4 continents in March, and
Mhm.
then Worlds in April.
Mm.
So it was like this sort of monthly
That's,
cadence.
that's like the schedule we had in 2002 and earlier where they had the Grand Prix final in the spring. And so it was
Mhm.
kind of
Yeah,
like you'd win the big 3 winning, like, Europeans, Grand Prix final, Worlds.
right. But
But, like,
it would be
people
crazy for
don't do
somebody
well
no,
competing that
exactly.
much at that
It's
level.
t it's too much.
I
So that
do yeah, I do
interested to see where
agree,
that goes.
yeah, that it would be good to have another event in the spring because I feel like a lot of skaters after their nationals, if they don't make a championship team, that's just, like, the end of their season. And I do think it would be good to have more, but yeah, I don't know if we need more that would be like your top 3 would go to all of those, or your top 2.
Yeah, right.
People are
Yeah,
worn out by Worlds as it is.
it totally.
Hmm.
Um, I I did I at the end of day 1, I literally messaged, like, I don't know, 30 different
Yeah,
athletes being like, "Hey, this is what
yeah,
happened. What do you think?"
yeah.
It was unanimous that they were excited about the Grand Prix semifinals.
Interesting.
And these were all people who could qualify for the Grand Prix semifinals,
Yeah,
to be fair, right? Like,
yeah.
all of these skaters that I talked to are, generally among the top
Mhm.
15, 20 in the world, and so that's a caveat, right? Like,
Yeah.
who knows what others would feel about that, but they were unanimously excited about it. They were, however,
Mhm.
worried about burnout.
Yeah, I also feel like the ISU has put a lot of time and energy into trying to make 4 continents a legitimate championship event to rival Europeans, and I think doing something like this is going to push it back into B team status. I mean, like, look at the US right now, like, we have, Amber, Alyssa, and Isabeau have all said they're competing, and let's say they they're continuing. Let's say they stay healthy, let's say they're all in the top. There is a potential for all or 2 of them to make it to a spring Grand Prix final, and if you have nationals in January, I don't think you're gonna go to both 4 continents and the Grand Prix final in February.
I know,
Maybe, but
I
probably
know.
not, and I think that opens up the assignments, so you're gonna get, like, those top 2 at the final, and then you're gonna get lower down the ranks at nationals, those people go to 4 continents, which I think is great for them, but I think in terms of 4 continents being this championship, like Europeans, it's gonna lose its luster again a little bit.
I think what would potentially happen if
Mhm,
with this Grand Prix semifinal thing, if it ends up kind of getting sandwiched in that
mhm,
period of national championships, is that you end up getting more national championships overlapping on top of each other.
mhm,
So, we've seen US nationals and Canadians be on the same weekend
mhm,
before, right? Japanese nationals is has often been either the week of Christmas or
mhm,
like right before Christmas.
mhm,
And so, like, you know, say the Grand Prix semifinals end up happening during Christmas,
mhm,
like that would mean that Japan would need to change, right? I am
mhm.
sure there are lots of discussions going
Yeah,
on of like from the different federations of like when
yeah,
things would be most helpful for folks. And,
yeah,
they like to spend the time, actually utilizing the Grand Prix final and
mhm.
results to name their
Yeah,
teams too. So
yeah. I think it's interesting too that the thought is to address this problem is to have another event. So we have another event rather than changing the calculation for qualification. Um,
I do think part of the having another event thing is more um
More entries?
more more people being able to watch figure skating or
I
more
see.
figure skating being on air.
I see.
So, if the idea is that you continue to have the top figure skaters competing
Mhm.
and in different places,
Mhm.
you know, people would come out
Mm.
and watch them.
Mm.
Again, these are ideas, theoretical. The other big idea was what is now starting to be called Big Worlds.
Yeah, that actually sounds fun, though. I like that.
And again, all of the skaters that I have talked to
Yeah.
were very excited about it.
It feels
Um,
Olympic. I mean, I love going to see short track when we're at the Olympics. It's like, I would never see that, and it's fun.
when I first heard about this, I was
Mhm.
kind of like, does that really make sense? Because
Mhm.
it's like the audience for speed skating and the audience
Mhm.
for figure skating and the audience for synchro are
Mhm.
all kind of different.
Mhm.
But the idea that this thing happens once every 4 years, which is
Mhm.
what's being proposed and is happening in
Mhm.
2028 as the first version of this big world, is sort of like, 2 years after the Olympics, you have a mini Olympics. And that's really interesting. The only real big issue, right? I mean, the real big issue is finding a host city that can host both speed skating and figure skating.
I have another issue. We need short track in a different rink from figure skating.
So in Beijing, it will be.
Okay, that's great. Let's go. Beautiful. I
Yeah.
mean,
So in Beijing 28,
mhm.
so
Mhm.
2028 Big Worlds will be in Beijing.
Mhm.
They said that it's going to be in 3 different venues.
Okay,
The
that's
speed skating
good.
venue, the one that we had for the Olympics for figure
Mhm.
skating, and then a 3rd venue. So
Okay,
my guess is that that allows you to split speed skating and figure and synchro.
good. Because the temperature of the ice issue is too much drama.
Yeah, I know.
Doesn't affect some people, but, like, and then we had that some of those that really, like, we had that bad accident at short track this year in Milan where that girl got, like, hit in the face, and they were complaining the ice was too soft, and, let them have their temperature there, and we'll keep ours and just don't mix, you know?
I know. Yeah,
As long as the
exactly.
venues are close and you can go to the other events, you know?
I mean, I'm very certain that
Mhm.
the speed skating people or the short track people were like, "We can't do this in the same
Yeah.
place."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So Big Worlds, the experimental Big Worlds will happen in 2028. But again, the whole thing around like
Mhm.
who can host these things,
Mhm.
like you got to look at the Winter Olympics
Yeah.
hosts.
Salt Lake City.
Yeah. Salt
Does
Lake
Lake
City can
Placid have
host
a
it.
speed skating oval? I don't think they have 2
They
arenas.
they have the outdoor one.
Oh, let's go. Let's
Yeah. They do the Herb Brooks Arena has
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, it does.
2 ice surfaces.
Yeah. Perfect.
God, I don't
Not
like it
enough
at
seats in
Lake
there for a
Placid.
short track worlds,
No,
but,
there's not enough seats for a lot of things at
Yeah.
Lake Placid, not for a Worlds, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Uh,
It's just like it's like who has a speed skating rink? That's basically the, like, biggest
yeah.
issue.
Someone in Canada has to have them. I
Right,
mean,
exactly.
and every Canadian
Calgary.
city has Yeah, let's go to Calgary. There you go.
Calgary
Vancouver?
and get some oil,
Does
mine some
Vancouver still
oil.
have their venues? Oh, their skating venue is far away, though. We can figure it out. We put skating in the hockey venue. We'd put short track somewhere, though. They can figure it out. They've got 4 years. They
Yeah,
got 6 years.
they got 6 years.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that was a big one.
Mhm.
And then, another big one on sort of Olympics and things was, they have this was news to me because
Mhm.
I have not followed synchro very much
Mhm.
at all, is that, Synchro 9, which is
Mhm.
something that they introduced fairly recently.
Mhm.
So 9 skaters synchronized skating versus the general 12 to 16 skater synchronized skating.
Mhm.
That's going to be at the Youth Olympics in 2028.
Nice.
So that's already been included. And they're trying to make a push for Synchro 9 to be at the 2030 Olympics.
It should.
So
I think we should have Synchro 20 at the Olympics. The more people in synchro, the better. I love watching that live. It's
see
like
that
there's nothing like it.
see the thing about I do think the whole Synchro 9 thing,
Yeah.
it has a lot of different reasons and aspects to
Mhm.
it. I think one of the big things is the number of athletes it adds to the Olympic
It
roster.
absolutely is. Yeah. Because they're trying to
Uh,
make less athletes because
yeah,
they're trying to bring it
exactly.
down, and that is just like a
Yeah,
huge.
exactly.
They
I
won't
mean,
even add, like, individual finals for rhythmic gymnastics, and it's all the same people that are already there. I'm like, "Come on, guys."
they wouldn't even add a 30th skater to
Yeah,
singles so that they could
yeah,
even warm-up groups, yeah.
Yeah. I got to work on
So
synchro a little bit for Ice Network, and I went to their nationals a couple times, and it is extraordinary thing to behold in person, and, it absolutely should be an Olympic sport.
I mean, it looks like I'm gonna have to start learning synchro.
Mhm.
So those were the big things. The last big thing, I keep saying the last big thing.
Mhm.
The last big thing is all those rumored changes that
Mhm.
that people were saying was like it was already set in stone and it's happening, like the second free skate, like
Mhm.
the whole like artistic program and a
Mhm.
technical program thing. All these things that again are things that the ISU has put out there for feedback and
Mhm.
are not set in stone. Nothing is going to be implemented in terms of a huge change like that until the 2031 to 2034 Olympic cycle. So a bit like how the IJS was rolled
Mhm.
out in 2003 to 2000. They're like experimenting with stuff in this cycle,
Mhm.
but nothing is going to be new until the the following Olympic cycle. Now, the IJS, they that changed midway through that Olympic cycle, but this one is going to be the promise that Jae Kim made to
Mhm.
everybody was that no drastic major changes will happen until the 2030-2031 season.
When he's out of office and doesn't have to deal with the drama?
Well, the term limits is three terms,
Oh,
so
okay. So he may still be there.
he may still be
We're
there.
dealing with some of that right now with our governor in California, sending all the state
Mm.
workers back into the office and then peacing out in a couple months. And we're not happy about it. Anyway, my grievances aside, I'm
Yes,
excited to
yes.
see one less jump in these free skates. Give people time to skate.
Speaking of rule
Hmm.
changes, yeah, let's talk about that. So six jumping passes for single skating instead of seven. The half loop or Euler does not count as a jump and therefore frees up a jump for three jump combinations. So theoretically, you can do a triple Lutz, half loop, triple Salchow, triple toe.
Okay, Kevin
We're gonna see
Vanderparen.
we're gonna we're gonna see some Frankenstein combinations
Let's go.
coming up.
I'm ready.
But
Do them deep in the program, lots of speed, no under rotations. Otherwise, don't do them at all. Thank you.
thank you for listening to Michelle's TED Talk.
Yep.
So that's one of the big changes. And in addition to that, there was a little bit of confusion on the interwebs about this one. A new rule is that you can only do a jump of one type a maximum of three times. Now, people thought that that meant you can do the same jump three times.
Mm-hmm.
Very different. The rules from the past of you can only repeat a jump twice, or you can only repeat a jump once,
Mm-hmm.
and that like you can only repeat one quad jump and one quad jump maximum in the free skate. That's still in effect.
Yeah.
So you can't do three triple Lutzes in a same program.
Yeah.
Sorry to the Jia Shin enthusiasts out
What
there who
about
are tweeting me about it.
2 quad Lutzes and 2 triple Lutzes?
You cannot do that. So that means you are doing the same type of jump four times.
Okay.
So
So
that's what it's trying to prevent. It's trying to prevent you from doing two quad Lutzes and two triple Lutzes, or like a quad toe, triple toe twice, right? You can't do
yeah.
that either.
I think this is gonna hit people on the triple toe or the toe jumps, toe loop, especially
Yeah,
hard.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Because for some people, it's like quad toe is their quad, and they do 2 quad toes, or they do 1 quad toe and then well, yeah, 2 quad toes and then 2 triple toes,
Well, and also you can't do
and
a double
lots
toe,
of double
double
toes.
toes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So
boy.
it forces you to have more,
Have a Lutz.
well, or have more combination agility,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Whether you're adding
Yeah.
a double loop instead of a double toe, or like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of that sort of
That's
stuff.
fun.
Yeah. The Going back to that Euler half loop thing,
Mhm.
the the rule is that the Euler can be executed between two listed jumps once in a free skate
Mhm.
and it can be in a jump combination or a jump sequence. So I read that as saying you can do something like a triple Lutz half loop, triple sow, double axel,
Mhm.
because
Mm.
that's a sequence.
Mhm.
That's how I read it. We'll see if that actually is
I want them to
how
add
it
more
works.
steps as options in a jump sequence. Like back in the day when you do a couple half loops and some other things, and then you do your triple toe.
I know, right?
That was fun.
Yeah.
And, yeah, okay. It was
Be
musical.
be like Marina Keelman.
Mhm,
Do a bunch of
mhm.
double loops.
Yeah, let's go.
A big one that we've talked about already, all of these things were approved 2 years ago in
Mhm,
ISU Congress that was then deferred to
mhm,
now,
mhm,
is the choreographic spin.
mhm.
So that is one of those things that has
That
caused a lot of confusion.
that's one positive because it's fun.
I
It's like, do a
Yeah,
creative thing. I am annoyed that they made the illusion a feature.
these better be good freaking illusions.
I mean, we see too many illusions as it
I
is.
I can
Like
like, yeah,
and then you have the number of times you have to dip your head and the angle you have to be at. Stop. That's like a show skating thing. Like, don't regulate it.
but the problem was
Mhm,
in the way past when illusions were allowed as a difficult entry into a
mhm,
spin,
mhm,
there were a lot of people that were basically doing a one revolution camel
mhm.
spin and
Yeah,
calling it an illusion,
yeah,
and I was just like, "These aren't illusions, girl
yeah,
or
yeah.
boy or person. Like,
That's
these
true.
are not illusions."
Yeah,
So, yeah. But I agree. I
yeah.
mean, a lot of these things I do think in theory is
Mhm,
good. The idea that in theory having entrances and exits that are
mhm.
difficult, like in theory they're great. In practice, they're kind of different. And
Yeah,
I'm curious to see how these things in practice are done, right? Like I would love to see a traditional forward scratch spin as a choreographic spin that
yeah,
works really well with the music.
right on the end.
Yeah. Like, is that ever going to happen? I don't know. Or is it just like a bunch of people doing Frankenstein-y, like weird position spins and calling them choreographic spins? It really depends on what the judges will reward and what the
Yeah,
judges are going to say, like, yeah, this is a +5. Because like if you do a really freaking good scratch spin, it should be a +5 and it's on the
mhm,
music and it's
mhm.
done all correctly,
Yeah.
you know?
I hope people do elements that suit their skating and their programs
Agreed.
rather than trying to be crazy.
But yeah, there's just a lot.
I am very happy about the choreographic elements in pairs. I've been watching some pairs gala programs recently, for something else I'm working on, and, I love when pairs do that kinda creative, not conforming to rule stuff
Yeah.
in galas, so, like, let's see it. I like when they do dance lifts, I like when they do creative stuff. They have a lot of abilities that aren't necessarily showcased by the structured elements as we have them.
Yeah.
So
Well, I talked to Annika Hake and Robert Kunkel after Worlds last year
yeah.
when they did their headbanger at the end. That was
Yeah,
like their surprise element,
yeah.
and they basically told me they were like, "That's our preparation for the choreographic spin."
I loved when they had crowds at the practices in Milan. They just did it a couple times, and they were inexpensive tickets, so they were, like, all locals that were there, and Haka and Kugel did some of their kind of show elements like that
Oh,
for
and
the
they
crowd.
loved it.
They
They
loved
loved
it.
it.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, this is a
Mhm,
total aside.
mhm.
The Riku Ryuichi Kiara pair like show in
Mhm.
Japan that they're
Oh,
doing
yeah.
at the end of July. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean, this is unprecedented. They literally have every pair out there who is not
Really?
retired. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's them,
Yeah.
Hasse Volden, Metelkina Barulova,
Mm.
Haka Kunkel, Cam O'Shea, who else was it? Pavlova Sviatchenko. Like, it's like you look at the top
Mhm.
10 from Worlds,
Yeah.
and it's like everybody there who is not retired or split up.
That's awesome.
It's crazy.
They
Like,
should
you've
stream it on
never seen anything like
Peacock.
that. I know. Wouldn't it be something?
Yeah.
And then they have Piper and Paul and Maddie and Evan there.
Mm.
And apparently they're still in talks with more skaters. So
That's great.
I mean this
I'm gonna
I'm
tell
very
somebody at
envious.
NBC. Because I'm
Yeah.
sure Japanese TV is beautifully filming and broadcasting it, so
I mean, I'm so envious of that show because it's just
I mean, why don't you
it's
go,
so
Jackie?
unpre
You
I'm
could get
going to
on a
Japan
direct
enough
flight.
I'm going to Japan enough times next year for things. We'll see.
Nationals.
I'm debating whether to do nationals or to do NHK trophy. I don't know
Why not
which.
both?
Why not both? And I'm like looking at World Team Trophy
Yeah.
as well because I've never been to one.
I
Um,
mean, that's like a party trip.
I mean, it's also like it's very fun,
Yeah.
but it's also like apparently the most expensive week to be in Tokyo because it's like the end of Sakura season. So anyway, so those are things. We talked about the 6 jump elements
Mhm.
in single skating and the free skate, choreographic spin, which replaces one of the 3 required spins in the free skate for single. So it's
Mhm.
2 of the like normal spins. One has to be a combo spin, one has to be a flying spin, one has to be a choreographic spin. And then the half loop and jump repeat things that we were just talking about. In pair skating, the short program is going to be a group 3 lift, which is they change the group of the lift every season, so that wasn't a surprise that we got a new one. That also means that the base value for pairs short programs will be lower than what they've been
Mhm.
because a group 5 lift, which was last season, is much more or is worth more than a group 3 lift. In the free skate, instead of 3 lifts, you do 2 lifts
Mhm.
and a choreographic pair lift.
Mm.
And then the pair spin becomes a choreographic pair spin. There is no longer a regular pair spin.
Bless up.
Those pair spins were getting
Mhm.
some of them were a little hard to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we'll see what the final changes for ice dance is. We have not gotten to that yet.
I'm still, praying for the death of the choreographic character stuff, but I don't know if I'm gonna get my wish this year, but someday.
You know, what was interesting was I was doing a rewatch of 2019 Worlds,
Mhm.
and I was like, these character steps look so different back then.
Mm. Well, it wasn't maybe as much of a rest element at the time, and they
They
kind
s-
of were trying to do something in
it's
it.
like they just seemed a little bit more interesting. But
Yeah. Well, it's also like they weren't all just doing it because everyone does it.
right, yeah. So lots of things happening. I will end on Grand Prix assignments, which again, as we said at the top of the show, I expect them to come out
Mhm.
sometime early this week. Now, that is me expecting it based on the information that I have. That is not official information from anybody. So that we'll see what happens. I will be putting out a Rocker Splainer show tomorrow about how Grand Prix assignments are assigned and also what to expect with the Grand Prix assignments now that we know all the splits and the new pairings that we know of.
Mhm.
It's as close to the deadline as I think I can possibly get to. So, we'll see if it actually happens this
Mhm.
week.
Fingers crossed for good dance assignments at Skate America.
I'm like in the middle of the night pressing refresh,
Yeah, well,
being
we
like,
know who is going to be there is Zingis and Kolesnik because they are the top US team. Chalkbaits aren't competing. So,
we know who is going to be there is you and me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Hopefully, Heather Gay will be there with us.
Oh my
I love her.
goodness, my goodness. All right, Michelle, we had a lot to talk about, but thank you for joining, and we'll see what happens this week. Let's hope something happens this week.
It will, probably. It's June.
Probably. We never know.
Yeah.
I keep saying it's like the it's like the Taylor Swift folklore or
Mhm.
like Beyonce Lemonade surprise drop. It's like
Mhm.
all of a sudden it's there and
Yeah.
nobody was coming.
Yeah. Oh, no, Skate America's in is it
And Everest.
Everest?
Yeah,
Everett.
yeah, yeah.
Everett. Yeah, nationals are in
Or
Salt Lake
Everett.
City.
Everett.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City will be at
We'll see Heather Gay in
nationals.
January.
All right. Anything else from your end?
No. No. Get those clips posted, new teams. I wanna see you
No,
skate.
exactly. I'm very interested to see what else we learn
Mhm,
from these Grand Prix assignments in terms of
mhm,
who's here and who's
mhm,
not here.
mhm.
And are there gonna be any surprises? Probably.
Sarah Conti's gonna be on there with a, new partner that we don't know yet. That's what I predict.
That'll be interesting.
Mhm.
All right. Well, for Michelle Ellis, this is Jackie Wong, Chief Skate Nerd of RockerSkating.com. Thanks, as always, to John Wilson Blades for your sponsorship. And we will be very much on the edge of our seats, waiting for things to be announced this week. Hopefully, they will be announced this week in terms of the Grand Prix. Maybe we'll get a Four Continents location this week. We're just, us figure skating fans in this off season are just
I
like
mean,
roaming around in the desert trying to find a palm tree.
I am a little busy with Love Island and the World Cup, but I will be checking your Twitter for updates. So,
Nixon 5, that's already happened,
yes,
so yay.
let's go.
All right. Don't forget, there have been a number of interviews I have posted on Rocker Skating YouTube, including Wakaba Higuchi, including Kaori Sakamoto, including Jae Kim. I've got more stuff coming with more interviews that I did with, or more questions that I did with Olivia Smart, with Evan Bates, and with Caitlin Weaver when I was over in Tenerife for ISU Congress. So more to come, and let's get some sleep while we're waiting for all of this stuff. Bye.
Bye.